5:15, so I will go ahead and call the meeting to order. So I hope Danny's still on the line now. So it's December 7th, time for the regular Harlan City Council meeting. So Jane, if you'd please take roll call.
Kroger. Here. Blatt.
Here.
Peterson.
Here.
Christensen.
Here.
Rudolph. Here. Shaven.
Here.
Thank you very much. And you've all received the agenda ahead of time. No changes on that, Jane or Jean, that we know of, right?
No.
Okay. If I would like to look for a motion then to approve the agenda as presented.
Motion.
Motion by
Second.
Richard, and second by Christensen.
Roll call. Kroger. Aye. Blatt.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
Christensen.
Aye.
Rudolph.
Aye.
Shaven.
Aye.
Thanks.
Thank you. Please state any conflicts of interest if they arise tonight. Item number 2, then we move on with the consent agenda. And tonight's consent agenda includes the minutes of the November 16th council meeting and the minutes of the November 30th fiscal year 22-23 budget and capital project planning minutes. And claims list number 1255 in the amount of $163,998.25. And a renewal application by the C.G. Turkleton Activity Center at 706 Victoria Street for a Class C liquor license with commercial sales. And have any questions on those? Or Jane, you want to elaborate?
There were 3 large claims. One was just the insurance benefit, which is every month, utilities, and then our bond interest payment, that's always done. So that those were 3 of the large claims that made up the...
Okay. If there are no other questions, then I'll look for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Rudolph with a second by Blatt.
Roll call. Kroger.
Aye.
Blatt.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
Christensen.
Aye.
Rudolph.
Aye.
Shaven.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. That takes us to item number 3 then. And Pam Burkowski is here to visit with us about some poultry in the city limits for 4-H kids, right? So go ahead and stand up and just share some thoughts with us. And yeah, no, okay.
So just to introduce myself, I'm Pam Burkowski. I'm the poultry superintendent for the Shelby County Fair. We're looking to expand our poultry at the fairgrounds during the Shelby County Fair, and in looking into different projects that we could do, we have heard of other counties in Iowa that has a project at their county fair that we would like to give the 4-H, FFA, and Clover kids in Shelby County an opportunity to participate in. This is a community project where the 4-H, FFA, and Clover kids get the opportunity to raise a small number of broiler chickens, only broilers, and donate it to the food pantry. So we have already given it a name, and it's called a fundraiser chicks. So the kids would get 5 broiler chickens, the small ones, raise them for 6 weeks. 3 would be shown at the county fair, and then those would get processed and donated to the food pantry. The other 2 would then be brought to the auction during Fair Week, and that money that is brought to, raised by the auction would go to the fair board. Hopefully they would, find a place for it somewhere, but, so it's all a donation thing for the kids. It's a 6-week project, so it's short term. These types of chickens don't crow, so it's not a noise issue. Very little waste, so it's easy to dispose of the garbage in the garbage for pickup. Kids and parents would sign a form if they live in the city limits of Harlan. The kids would have to be in 4-H, FFA, or Clover kids. They would have to sign up for this project, the fundraiser chick project, only from June 1st till the 15th of July. And then we could also put on that form that they're clean up within the city limits. So if there is someone that raises these chickens, they would have to have it cleaned up in their backyard by the 15th of July or something. But it would be a form that parents and the kids. We have a workshop coming on the 29th of December to introduce this to the kids, and in that we would explain this to them, that they have to have it cleaned up and they have to sign these forms and stuff like that. So I have brought some other city ordinances with. I know Iowa City is okay with chickens, Des Moines is okay with chickens, Portsmouth is. There are several around that are and aren't, so it's kind of a toss-up. But would you like any of these?
Sure.
I
Make
will
them
make
available
two copies,
to all
but once
council.
the staples are pretty.
Sure, sure, we can get these
Just take a
shared
look
with
at
council as
them.
well.
Yep, Pam, do you have those electronically that you could
I could.
send? And then
Yes.
you could
I got
disperse
them
it that
from
way?
Extension,
Save a tree that way?
right.
So,
Yeah, because one's 48 pages, I think.
Yeah, be great, thanks.
We would like to open this to all 4-H, FFA, and Clover kids in Shelby County, and some of those may live within the city limits of Harlan and other towns. We would like to give them all an opportunity to participate. I understand you had an ordinance which allows poultry in this, which doesn't allow poultry in the city limits of Harlan. We wanted to ask if you would consider allowing this project since it's short term. Is this something that you would consider? Do you guys have any questions?
Pam, do you know about how many kids that would involve between those three groups of kids
I
as to how
don't.
many would live within the city?
I don't.
I was just curious.
There isn't a whole lot of families that bring chickens to the poultry show. So I'm kind of thinking it wouldn't be a whole lot. I'm guessing 5.
And the idea is for each family to raise them at their home or
Yes.
at the fairgrounds?
No, at their home.
At their residence?
Because
Okay.
if you did it at the fairgrounds, they have raised cages. Nobody's there 24/7 to watch them. If it was in their backyard, and they would get the experience, you could have, there are people that raise a lot of these chickens, and they bring them to fair. And it was brought up that maybe we could get them to raise them for them, but then they don't get the experience again. We want these kids to have the experience.
We spent quite a bit of time looking at this before, as you're
Yeah.
probably well aware, but one of the issues was having a safe chicken coop.
Right.
And it kind of got, as we were studied, it became a little bit cost prohibitive to do this by the time you had a secure enough coop in town so that birds of prey or cats or whatever didn't get to them. It kind of put it out of the realm of possibility for most.
Yeah, I heard of one family raised ducks, and they had a cage that didn't have a floor on it, but it had a lid on it. And every day they would just move that cage throughout their yard, but they lived out of town. So, they could monitor a little bit better.
Of course, the other concern, at least from my seat, is doing it for some but not allowing it for all. And that's just a conundrum that we're in. So I'll let somebody else speak or ask questions.
I just appreciate you listening and, talk it over, consider it.
Anybody else want to share thoughts or have questions tonight? Or wait till you give us more thought?
So the fairgrounds would be technically still city property?
No.
Fairgrounds are not?
County, they're within city limits, within
City
municipal
limits.
limits. But they're gonna be county property though, correct? Yes.
County, but not city, I'm sorry if I phrased that wrong.
It's not city owned, but it's within municipal limits. The fairgrounds property is within municipal limits.
So my out of the box thinking would be, you said that it wouldn't potentially work, is the fairground would potentially have an exception if it be done at the fairground building, a building itself designated only for this purpose. And whether or not that fits into everybody's view of signaling out for potential certain users or permitting or something like that, but maybe concentrated in one spot.
Yeah, my thought would be on that is there's no security down there and they're on the edge of town, coyotes, coons, whatever, wild animals coming in.
Yeah.
I understand you're under a dilemma, so,
Yeah.
I appreciate, your time today. Hopefully you'll consider it. And
Okay.
I had to ask. you
Yeah,
know,
no, that's fine.
so,
I don't know, we won't take any action tonight, but
Right.
we'll just, I
Feel
guess,
free to call me if
just
you have any questions.
think it over and yeah.
I had shared with Pam, Pam and I spoke a week ago on the phone and had a nice conversation.
Yeah.
And shared previous experience when this was looked at a couple of years ago. And certainly the pros and cons, and certainly, providing youth opportunity and youth opportunity with other activities such as this, I think are wonderful. Yet administratively and within municipal limits, it does create a whole myriad of enforcement issues, oversight within residential areas, which again, in urban areas, and we've seen some other rural communities, not as many, that have adopted some policies. This is a slight variation of that for a 6-week window. Yet again, as I shared with Pam, as others see that, may not be aware of the program. And then here we have, here in August and September, and we see over on XYZ Street, and they said, well, I saw somebody else have them 5 weeks ago, and we just thought we were okay here. I mean, those are just the types of things and those things come up,
Right.
right? But those are things I would just bring to the council's attention.
Definitely a concern.
It's
but
and we also explored, mentioned about, is the fairgrounds an appropriate space? And again, as you said, because of security and observation, as well as, the skills and the responsibility for the youth. And you said twice a day, generally, they would need caring, so then be transportation for them so not as, it was just outside municipal limits, worked great.
Yeah. It's a great program, I think the idea is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, we were just thinking of all the chickens that would raise for the pantry. And it would
Yeah.
be a lot.
I love the idea of the program and that it's short-term and the benefits to the community.
There will be kids that live on the farms that will sign up for this. We had Linda in as a project, and I think there were 5 or 6 kids last year that they actually borrow a chicken just to show at the fair. They take care of it and stuff like that. It opens their window to, maybe that's something I want to do, a project they want to do. In chickens, there's not a lot of overhead. It's not like a calf or a steer or a goat. So, any other questions?
Let's see, thank you very much for
Thank you
coming,
for-
asking at least.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Okay,
Thank you for your time.
thanks Pam.
Thanks, Pam.
Thank you.
Okay, on to item 4, other business then. We have resolution number 2475 in front of us to approve the 7th Street Bridge Statement of Completion and Final Acceptance. And we have with us electronically Danny Stern from JEO Consulting Engineers tonight. So Danny, if you'd like to say any words, or Gene, do you want to kick off?
Thank you. This is a standard DOT form to be completed at the end of the project. If the construction has completed all the work, completed all the punch list items, and so we're ready to close out the paperwork end of the project now. So we'll get this form completed and let the DOT know we're ready for their audit, and then we can work on closing it out.
Anybody have any questions? We did have the form in our packet.
Got it on the screen as well. This is the high-level summary. And again, JEO has been an excellent partner with this, not only with the resulting product, but also working with the DOT. By the way, Dan, I'll save that for another, save that for another day. And then
Another project?
Yes. The remaining closeout items, which I've shared before, would be the final release of what's been the retainage, and then any final requests from JEO due to some additional construction oversight due to the overage of days, which I'll present once we get all this final closeout done.
I would just add that as far as projects go, that one created very little angst. And, the shoe fly and everything just seemed to work as it was supposed to. And, the erosion, anytime there was a concern down there, it was taken care of pretty promptly, I think.
There were a few, yet they're very responsive.
Yeah, with any project of that size, there will be, but.
As far as kind of JEO and Danny responsive to supporting the city side and city needs, so it's a very good partner.
Any other questions or comments? If not, then I'd look for a motion to approve Resolution 2475 for the completion and final acceptance.
Motion.
Motion by Peterson,
Second.
second by Kroger.
Roll call Kroger,
Aye.
Blatt,
Aye.
Peterson,
Aye.
Christensen,
Aye.
Rudolph,
Aye.
Shaven.
Aye.
The motion carries. Thank you, Danny, for being online tonight. If you'd like to stay and watch the rest of the meeting, you're welcome to.
Thank you, Council.
Or you can go eat supper.
I might choose that. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, Danny.
Thanks, Danny.
Thanks, Dean.
Okay, item 4B then is to review the airport 5-year capital improvement plan.
This is an annual filing with the FAA, Federal Aviation Administration. This was reviewed and recommended by the Airport Commission from their last monthly meeting. This needs filed by mid-December. You've seen this in past years. Once again, this is a statement of intent. There's no commitment here. And being a federally obligated airport, this is required to be updated every year. And this has been fluid. I know Jay's previously sat in the commission. Mayor, you attend a lot of the meetings. Sharon's currently the liaison. And the newest item that literally appeared here in the last 30 days is ALP update focusing on the grass runway. So we submitted a draft last month, so allowed the FAA to provide some comment. And the FAA's comment was they would like a review of the grass runway for safety issues, which then ties into an ALP, airport layout plan, is what that acronym is. And safety at airports when they're federally obligated, doesn't matter if it's Dulles or JFK or Des Moines or our GA Municipal Airport. Safety is paramount to them. And in talking with the commission as well as our engineers, it was important to reflect an intent to update the ALP and look at that runway for safety. And it could be all the way from grass to a couple of fences that we update. And that's been at least shown on this plan now to let the FAA know that we're aware of that. Anything you would add, Sharon, or I guess Mayor, that you've been at those meetings?
No, there's just always something that needs to be upkeep and improved. And
this is 90 federally obligated with 90% AIP money and 10% local money.
There's just never enough money for that budget.
yeah,
That's my indicator.
Or other budgets, right?
Yeah.
Look, it's a big jigsaw puzzle.
Anybody have any questions on this capital improvement plan?
Yeah, do need your review and approval so we can get that submitted
If
by
there's no other
December
questions or
17th.
comments, then I'd look for a motion to approve the CIP.
So moved.
Motion.
Motion by Shaben,
Second.
second by Kroger.
Roll call Kroger,
Aye.
Blatt,
Aye.
Peterson,
Aye.
Christensen,
Aye.
Rudolph,
Aye.
Shaven.
Aye.
Motion carries, thank you. On to the city administrator's report.
We are heavy and deep into budget planning. Tomorrow's going to be meeting with each department head, which is an annual process. Jane and I have sat down and done a preliminary review with each of those departments. One of the key elements for next year is valuations. We will not see valuations, of course, from the assessor till near or at January 1. So that's one key piece to the overall equation we don't have yet. yet it's been very active with budget planning season. And, share with the council as well as the public, we're fortunate, and as far as the team that we have, in which status quo is not okay. And so what I mean by that is, if status quo is okay, we would just be, just ensure we're able, keeping the lights on, and obviously we have plenty of things to maintain in terms of services and infrastructure, yet with our mission and how we look to serve our community, we're always looking to be beyond status quo. And what more can we do? What new services? What new amenities? Yet those come, with dollars, and where's that funding coming from? Yet, just want to kind of recognize and appreciate our team, especially at this time of year when we come into, well, this would be better, or this would be an additional, yet where's the funding for that? If it was just status quo, status quo would be, taking care of some additional costs of services and or goods, yet for the city of Harlan and our community, I think we all would like to be better than status quo, and we've got a team that's looking to do that regularly. In your packet was also our annual siren inspection. So each year with Blue Valley, which is that annual siren maintenance agreement. So just wanted to point that out to you. Sirens checked out fine, tested out fine. I think we had one battery that needed replaced, but that's all part of that annual sign maintenance agreement. We have a contractor that is looking to move a house, will be moving a house from 7th Street, just across from the post office, and that was targeted to happen within the next week, but simply due to the professional house movers, that's going to be after the holidays, and likely the next council session is when that street closing permit, because it will interrupt traffic, some mail flow for a day or two. We've had a planning meeting, I've alluded to this before, but it's not happening within the next week. But that we will continue coordination on that. The police department has been advertising. We've had a few applicants and interest inquiries on our adding to our police reserves. So if anyone's contacted you, or if you know of anyone, we've had a few inquiries thus far, and I believe 3 applicants thus far, and taking other interested applicants through the end of the week. With the nice weather, we've continued, the street department's continued tree removal. I think the last 2 days they've been working on 4 more trees, so making great headway on the trees targeted for removal. Talking with the department, no surprise the last few days we've had plenty of high winds. I think we can all acknowledge that. Yet either due to the right direction of the wind or some good fortune, but I think it's more related to that trees that have been identified for removal because of dead or disease or weakened. We've not had any calls over the last few days with winds of branches down or limbs down, which happens pretty regularly with the high winds. So the department's been working on that. Been down by JJ, your recent approval of the parking area in front of the proposed batting and fielding facility. So that parking area is surfaced with the millings. We will wait until next spring to complete the right entrance. So if you've been down there, that area, the team has that completed. And the last couple items I have, the Historical Preservation Commission met yesterday, and will be that's the upper story and facade program that we've kept going for the last number of years. And the commission will be advertising for taking applications in January, so we'll get that communication out, and requesting funding for $50,000 again, and assuming approval, then hopefully have a lot of interest in either facades or upper stories. But that just took place yesterday. And the last item is that the mayor, Jane, and myself attended the Municipal Leadership Academy last Thursday evening in Atlantic. 40, 50 folks there from throughout southwest Iowa. A few of you have attended that in the past. And just another great example of all the resources that the League of Cities provides to existing staff, but the primary focus is elected officials and newly elected officials. Yet it's always a great opportunity to, seems like, I believe I've been to that session maybe 4 or 5 times, but I equate it with sharpening the saw and new opportunity to hear information in a different way. So it's always good to network or see some league staff. So, any comments or questions from me?
I would just add on to that meeting that seems like every time I go to a meeting, I walk out thinking, man, there's some places got some real trouble. And we're not one of them that I can tell, so just the way they're organized and just their leadership, and I usually leave with a good feeling about our council and staff, and city workers, and just the whole team. It's some interesting conversation with people from other parts of the state that aren't as fortunate. Any other questions for Gene? Okay, thank you very much. My report tonight, I have the honor of asking you to adopt Resolution 2476 to honor several employees for their years of service with our team. And those include, for 10 years of service, tonight we have Ashley Schleiss and Derek Yamada. 15 years of service for Marvin Travis, and 25 years of service for Doug Claver. And those come with $50, $75, and $125 stipends for, respectively, for those 10, 15, and 25 years. So I appreciate their work that they've done over the years, and look forward to seeing them another 10, 15, and 25 more years. So with that, I would ask for a motion to approve Resolution 2476 for those folks.
Motion.
Motion by Rudolph.
Second.
Second by Shaven.
Roll call: Kroger.
Aye.
Blatt.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
Christensen.
Aye.
Rudolph.
Aye.
Shaven.
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion carries, thank you. And that is all I have tonight, so I will this time turn it over to Todd Boleen with the Chamber of Commerce and Industry, if you'd like to give us an update.
Yes. Quick one this evening as the year's winding down, but just a reminder, tomorrow the Wellness Alliance is looking forward to the Teen Health Fair. That'll be at the Peterson Wellness Facility. That'll run from 3:30 to 6. We're hoping to see as many kids between 8th and 12th grade show up for it. A lot of fun activities planned. We'll be giving you pizza, so might as well show up for it type thing. So then Thursday night over at the Historical Museum, we'll have Santa in the cabins from 5 to 7. So that's where we always have Santa Claus in one of the historical cabins over there, and kids can come and see him and have some hot chocolate and pick up some ornament things to do at home, so that'll be a lot of fun. Saturday, we'll be driving throughout the county. Santa's going to stick around, just kind of hanging out on my couch for a day and a half, and then we're going to take him to the different communities throughout the county for the same thing, to be able to spend some time with the kids. And we have, through fantastic sponsorships, we have stockings for every community, so all the kids that come visit Santa, they'll put their name into a pile, and then Santa will draw a name for one of the kids to take the stocking home. So that'll be great. And then finally, just a reminder, with the way that Christmas is falling this year on the calendar, it just seems like it's coming up really quick. A lot of things are accelerating. So the West Central Community Adopt a Family program is going on now. They have many families that still need to be adopted. And just because of the way the calendar fell, a week from this Thursday, so on the 16th, is when people who have adopted a family will be dropping off the gifts that they've purchased out in our atrium area. And then on the 17th, the families will come by and pick them up. So we are kind of getting a little crunched on time, so just a reminder to folks to take a look at the list, try to pick up a family or two, and put some smiles on some faces this holiday season. And that's it from the Chamber of Commerce.
Very good. Any questions for Todd? No, thank you very much.
All right, thanks.
And Ken Weber, are you with us electronically tonight for
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
You bet, Ken.
Okay. Just a couple of quick items. As is the city, we're also working on budget for the upcoming fiscal year, 22-23. So spending time and effort on that, both the operating budget and the capital budgets. Also working on pole removal for the old wooden poles that are still on the ground. Additional notices and such have been sent to Windstream and Mediacom. And just for the information, the city, it'll be 2 years this spring since we sent the original notices. So it's been dragging out, unfortunately, for quite a while, but until they relocate their facilities, there's not much we can do in that regard. But Gene and the city attorney have been working on it hard for us, so hopefully we'll get some of those done shortly. The last item is Dar Gessert. I can't remember if I mentioned it before or not, but he's planning to retire. And we're going to have a coffee for him on the 22nd at 3 p.m. Down at the break room at the HMU main office. So that's all I have. Any questions?
I don't hear any, Ken. Thank you very much for the update.
You bet.
Okay, any comments from council members? Questions? Quiet group tonight. And I don't see anybody in the audience with their hand raised high for questions, so at this time I will adjourn the meeting. Thank you.